Welcome everybody. We are doing another keyboard build today. And today I'm very excited to say we are building the Mode 65, another Mode keyboard. If you are new to the channel, I'm a huge fan of Mode keyboards. I've got a review of the 2020 version of the Mode 80, Mode Designs TKL keyboard. And I'm an enormous fan of these keyboards. So when the 65 came out, with all of its awesome customization options, I absolutely knew I had to get I had to get on that. So we've got a Mode 65 to build here today. We're going to be building it hot swap style with the stack mount, but I will include sound tests at the end with all three mounting styles, which we'll cover in just a moment. But we're going to start where any good tech video does, and we're gonna unbox the keyboard. So if you saw my Mode 80 review, I spoke very highly of the packaging that the Mode 80 came in, and I'm gonna do the same for this packaging. I really like this. This is very logistically clever, and I think a cool design. The Mode 65 has a enormous number of options that you can select. You pick the top case, material / color. Most of them are aluminum. There's the polycarb one, which, spoiler alert, is what we're using today. The bottom material and finish, there's aluminum, brass, and polycarbonate, if memory serves. We have one of the brass ones here, we'll get to in a moment. And then there's a little back piece that snaps on to the back of the keyboard, and you get to pick the color and material of that as well. So there's a lot of options. Then on top of all that, you got plate, PCB, and a couple internal options as well. So all that to say, this packaging is very smart from a logistics point of view, as well as being quite beautiful. You'll remember the outside of the Mode 80 box was very nicely printed in a very nice color, and you might look at the Mode 65 packaging and be a little disappointed, but I think what they did design-wise is very clever in that when you open it, you get this, it just opens up like a flower. It's so cool. All the printing is on the inside of the box, which I think is super clever. So 65 mechanical keyboard, lovely little QR code. It takes you to the build guide. I've got it open off screen off here, so if I'm looking off camera, that's what's going on. So, but then from a logistics point of view, it's a box full of boxes. The reason being, you get your top box here, which has your components in it, this box, which has your top case, and then the bottom box, which has the bottom case in it. I'm not sure if that's the order every time, but you get these three packages, and that's really smart because from a fulfillment point of view, they're not trying to load a single box with every single one of your options. They can have these boxes ready to go. Like they can have a whole bunch of polycarb top case boxes, and you can even see on the end here, there's a SKU just for this box, being the polycarbonate top case. So they can have a whole bunch of these ready. Then as they are fulfilling orders, small team that they are, they can just pull the bits and pieces they need off the shelf, load those in, and then the component box, there's no SKU for, because this is the most variable. So really they just need to worry about this box, and then they can just throw these components in and know that they're gonna be properly packaged already, and they just need to include them. So very smart packaging design here from Mode, which I'm very impressed with. And then on top of all of that, this whole thing, including the cushioning on the side, is cardboard. So the whole thing's recyclable as well. Fantastic, amazing packaging for different reasons than the 80. The 80, very luxurious packaging. This, very smart, and I still think quite handsome packaging. So very into that. Once again, Mode, bravo, this is awesome. And I love the soft kind of peach color they use for their accents there. It's almost so light that it's hard to see under my filming lights here. But yeah, there we go. That's pretty representative. So Mode, 10 out of 10 on the packaging. This is awesome. Very impressed. So I'm actually going to move the very nice packaging off screen now because I need my workspace back. Just gonna get that right. Add a frame there. And we're gonna start with our components box. In here are a lot of pieces to the puzzle. So you get a Mode branded screwdriver. Oh, and actually I got a new lens, so I can do that. How about that? You get a Mode branded screwdriver, which is still very small. There we go. A Mode branded screwdriver. If you've watched any of my builds before, you know I typically like using my own tools because I've got some really nice ones that I enjoy. But for sake of getting the full experience, I'm going to use the Mode one. As far as I can tell, this is going to be a great driver. I love that they include this because there's 2 sizes of hex and a Phillips screw used in this assembly. So speaking of those, we'll look at that bag next. This is the screw with all your case screws, plate screws, your 3 bits for the driver, all the little assembly bits and pieces that you need. There's these 4 screws here, which I was taking stock of everything before I started. Oh, hot swap standoffs. Hot swap standoffs. So that's what those guys are for right there. We've got our feet. This is one of the options you can pick. There's black, gray, and yellow feet. I've got black feet. There are plate caps. So this is going to tie into the mounting styles. Let me get the plate out and then we'll come back to these. But you got those. You can get those also in black, gray, or yellow. And your daughter board right here. I already tested my PCB beforehand because I don't want to bore you with that. The JST connector used this time is much easier to get in and out. On the 80, it was almost kind of scary pulling it out of the PCB the first couple times till it wore in a little bit because it really, really felt like you were going to break it. This has a much more satisfying removal force. It is an offset connector, so if this is like the box of the connector, the pins don't go right down the middle, they're offset to one side. So when you're plugging it in, and there are plastic guides on the plug, but when you're plugging it in, make sure you're doing it in the right orientation as not to crush the delicate pins in the JST. But it's so much easier to remove, and because this keyboard kind of encourages you to open it and modify it, I'm very appreciative that it is such an easy part to remove. So got that there. This is one of the options you can have, the plate foam. I'm not going to use that today, but I wanted to kind of get all the pieces so I can play with the different styles. This would go between your plate and PCB to change the sound profile some. I have a white aluminum back piece you can see here. So this is the part that magnetically snaps onto the back. There's no magnets in this, I don't believe, or maybe there are. There are definitely magnets in the back of the keyboard. No, there are magnets in this as well. So it's a magnetically attached piece, and this is really clever. It actually hides all the screws externally visible on the keyboard. You'll remember on the bottom of the Mode 80, it kind of had that lip on the front and then 3 fasteners across the back. And this one, because there's 4 fasteners across the back of the keyboard to kind of shut the clamshell, then you snap this on and all the screws disappear. So you end up with this really nice kind of seamless look. Here is our plate we're going to use today. This is an FR4 plate, been one of my favorites lately. And so when we open that, we'll come back to the silicone caps. PCB, hot swap, already tested, good to go there. Very smart on Mode's part. They actually put a warning on the outside of the bag saying to test your PCB beforehand, with yet another link to the build guide, which also tells you to test your PCB. It's almost like it's important or something. And then last but not least, because I am such a simp for the stack mount, I got the stack mount. This is optional on the 65 because of the multiple mounting styles. You do not have to do stack mount, but I really wanted to try stack mount because I like it on the 80. So there are screws included with the stack mount silicone to screw it to the bottom case. You don't actually need those screws functionally, but during assembly you kind of have to flip the keyboard upside down to close it, and this falling out would be a huge pain in the butt. So it retains it in place, and honestly probably helps with alignment. It's probably not a bad thing to have. So let's look at our plate here. It is funny to me that we're gonna zoom back out here. Gotta remember to do this next because I'm not doing it in post. Gotta keep that crispy footage for you. It is funny to me that the FR4 plate comes in a bag like it's a circuit board. I wonder if this actually just comes from a circuit board manufacturer, so they just put it in an ESD bag because they would assume that you need it because that's what circuit boards are made of. Grab my scissors here. That was a terrible line. It's a good thing I build keyboards and I don't cut those open professionally. I don't do this professionally, I'm sure I said that. So on these, oh my god, this plate's beautiful. So on these plates, you can see these tabs sticking off. Let me give you a close-up of one there. So these tabs are important. There are 3 mounting styles you can use with the Mode 65. You can top mount it, you can isolated top mount it, or you can stack mount it. So top mount means you just bolt these directly to your top case of choice. And it's just a standard top mount 65, nothing crazy. The ISO top mount is basically burger mounting in a lot of ways, but instead of using O-rings, Mode has these custom molded plate caps, which again, black, gray, yellow options. So you slip these over the protrusions on the plate, so that way as you type, the force of your typing goes through the plate into the silicone, then into the case. So it's a lot like burger mounting. Really, it's just a more refined version of, instead of using O-rings, there's a bespoke piece for it. And then the third option is stack mounting, which is what I'll be doing today. They recommend putting these on during stack mount just so these protrusions on the plate don't potentially rub on the inside of the keyboard. So they don't functionally do anything. They're just a protective measure. So very smart design from Mode to be able to get 3 mounting styles into the same keyboard. I think that is excellent. Let's put this back in there. And we're just gonna get all this out of frame for a moment. As long as we are talking about internals, before we go to the outsides of the keyboard, we are building with cream pakas today. These are lubed with Krytox 205 grade 0, Krytox 105 on the springs, and filmed with Desky switch films. These are a Franken switch consisting of an alpaca V1 housing and a cream stem. Now you might notice, hey Ian, those aren't very creamy looking stems. The Kale Black switch has the same stem as cream, so you still get the long pull bottom out, but on a cheaper switch. And I actually really like the way these look. I'm gonna insert a photo here in post I took of these. I've been enjoying photographing switches with a macro lens I got recently, and just the gray on black aesthetic is super cool. So that's what we got going inside for switches. And then accidentally, I cannot talk tonight. Accidentally, but fittingly, speaking of Gothic color schemes, we've also got the all black Durock V2 stabs. So these are your normal V2 stabs, but they're black plastic instead of smokier translucent plastic, and a black wire as well. So kind of a Gothic internal build for this guy. Stabilizers are lubed with 205 G0 on the housing and Krytox XBTBDZ lube. Oh god, hang on a second. What's the XHTBDZ? That's the lube that is used on the wire. That's the marshmallow cream looking stuff at the joints. So that will be our internals for today. Hotspot PCB FR4 plate stack mount with cream pakas and Durock V2 stabilizers. And then, well, I'm not sure why I moved this over. It's in the way immediately again. Our top case is the polycarbonate top case, as I mentioned. Very excited about this. When this keyboard was announced, I was sure I was gonna go E-white for the first time, but this polycarb is just beautiful. Big fan of this. If you had watched earlier builds of this on Twitch or anything, previously the screws that went into the polycarb were just threaded polycarbonate. Now, you can see just the shadow of it there. There are threaded inserts for the positions the plate screws on, and then the 4 screws along the back here. And there's those magnets that match up to grab the back piece. So that's how all your screws get covered up on the back of the keyboard. Your arrow keys are down here. This is the back. So very cool. This clocks in at 100 grams for this polycarbonate top. And the reason I am mentioning that is because, oh my god, the brass bottom literally weighs 20 times as much, well, just short of it, at 1.9 kilograms by itself for the chrome brass, or a mirror, rather. You can see my filming light there. The mirror bottom case. So it's interesting, my Mode 80 I have as a first edition. It is also mirror coated on the bottom. I think they use a PVD process. I'll put on screen if I'm wrong about that. The Mode 80 is aluminum with a mirror PVD coating on it. This is brass with a mirror PVD coating on it. So what's funny about this is not only that it's 1.9 kilos by itself, almost 20 times as much as the top case. This, coming in at 1.9 kilograms, almost weighs as much as my entire built PCB switches, caps, everything, Mode 80, which is 2.1 kilograms. So this is gonna be a very heavy little 65% keyboard that I'm gonna have here. But I had to get the mirror bottom to match my 80. So I think that is going to look really fantastic with the polycarb top and then the white back piece that we're gonna be starting with. Because I got a couple extras. I also got a black back piece we can try out if the white doesn't look great, a palm plate to try out, and a solder PCB as well. So once I find a build I like, I can commit it with a solder PCB and then keep experimenting with other stuff. So a couple extras there. And then on top of all of that, I also got, for this heavy little keyboard, the Mode carrying case. It is nearly identical to the one that came with the 80, just smaller obviously. So molded zipper pulls, great little detail. And then inside, same hexagonal, same hexagonal foam pattern on the inside, little pocket to put a cable, and then the perfectly molded insert down here, like even little pockets for the feet. That soft touch for the keyboard to go inside of, and then Velcro straps to hold it down. So that's an optional extra if you don't travel with your keyboards or don't tend to go to meetups or whatever. You obviously do not need to get a case. Yeah, I think that's everything. Oh yeah, and then as I mentioned, we are going to be using, I think I mentioned, we're going to be using GMK Modern Dolch Light for our keycaps. Very excited about this set. I think it'll look really nice with the polycarbonate. So yeah. I'm going to do a little bit of rearranging. So through the magic of editing, I'll be right back. Almost just fell right on my butt. My stool rolled away from me while I was standing up. All right, so we are going to get building here. SixtyFive build guide on the Mode website, QR code in the box. I highly recommend taking a look at it just because this assembles a little differently than your average keyboard. I already went through the parts list and everything, made sure I had everything I need, tested my PCB, I've got my switches and stabs all lubed up, so we're good there. And I have picked my mounting style. We're doing the stack mount to start with today. So first things first, they recommend installing the feet. So that's gonna be our bottom case. Let's get top case out of the way here. Do I wear gloves while handling? I don't like wearing nitrile gloves unless I have to because they make my hands sweaty. So I don't want to have sweaty hands for the rest of the build. So I think what I'm gonna do, let's get you the full workspace there so I don't drift out of frame, is I think I'm gonna, can I rip this without getting it? Yeah, there we go, okay. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna tear the plastic away from the top here. Oh my God, that mirror finish is ridiculous. I love it. It makes the keyboard scary, I guess is the word, to move, because like you don't want to put a fingerprint on it, but oh my God, it's just so beautiful. Let's see if I can show you. Yeah, there's the camera right there. Maybe you can see the little monitor I look into to make sure everything's in frame, but wow, that is absolutely unreal. Let me grab my microfiber towel real quick. I just saw myself in the reflection at sitting down. That's amazing. Yeah, this finish is absolutely incredible. I stand by my decision to have a incredibly hard to pick up keyboard like that. It looks like looking in a mirror. That is, you can see my giant forehead in the reflection. Wow, that looks absolutely beautiful. Let's see if I can reflect some text in it. Yeah, look at that. There you go. Amazing. Amazing. Okay, so the reason I did it this way is so I don't have to handle it as much while I put the feet in. So difference from the Mode 80, instead of 2 long feet, we're doing corner feet on this one. Get that last little bit of plastic out of the way. Don't stymie me now, come on. There we go. I end up having to rub my fingers all over it anyway. I really need to not just baby this, I just need to go for it. Keyboards are tools meant to be used. I suppose I just want to keep it real nice for taking some pictures of while it's all flawless and new. This mirror finish, it's just ridiculous. It is amazing. Just I can just like, in looking in the reflection of the plate, I can see my giant, hi, there we go. My giant forehead just reflecting off of that. Feet. Always smart to put the feet on first. So when you flip this thing upright, the amazing chrome finish is not sitting on anything that could potentially scratch it. I do think I like the move to 4 corner feet instead of the long feet. The long feet look really nice, but it is very easy to exit. I'm not sure if y'all are seeing that, but like, as I just rub my finger, like the heat from my finger is fogging up the cold, the cold brass. This thing has so much thermal mass. Yeah, I like the way those black feet look. Cause like, it's weird. A reflective object kind of looks black in some ways, unless it's like reflecting something like the light right there, so the foot kind of disappears. I like that. I think that's cool. So all that to say, anyway, the long 2 feet look fantastic, but it was really easy to accidentally stretch the feet as you were laying them down because they're so nice and pliable, which is what makes them good grippy feet. But yeah, installing was not the most beginner friendly. Whereas these, the lozenge shaped feet, are a little easier to put in. I think this is a good move. I think this is smart. I see my forehead in the reflection of this plate, and it's very distracting. Yeah, so like I misaligned that one a little bit, and because it's just, you know, 1.5 inches long, probably thereabout, it was really easy just to scooch it over and fix the alignment. Oh yeah, I've got my little rocket guy from Camera Gear. So in the world of bottom cases for this guy, you can get the mirror brass like you see here. You can get brass with a more standard gold, champagne kind of colored finish. Or you can get copper with, again, a copper colored finish. I think both the brass and the copper are clear coated. Why is that the way it is? I feel like there's like maybe just thicker adhesive along part of that foot. I'll have to troubleshoot that, but I think it should be fine for no, it's sticking up, it's gonna bother me. Yeah, see, like you wouldn't be able to rework the long feet on the 80 like that. Why are you standing proud? Oh, I wonder if maybe I just caught the edge of the channel it's supposed to sit in, so I made part of it pop up. There we go. Yep. Cool. Easy fix. I think I'm on team short feet. Although I'm not sure how well something like this would work on a TKL length keyboard, because it could bow in the middle. Even stiff metals could possibly bow enough to. Anyway, speculating. It's fun. I recommend it. Speculate about everything. Be skeptical. All right. Brass in this finish or normal brass, copper in a normal copper color. Both those have a clear coat on them. Various colors of aluminum. And polycarbonate, just like the top. So you got lots of options, just there. Press feet on to ensure they're properly adhered, smoothing out any raised areas. It's almost like, I don't know, they have good documentation or something. Amazing. Step 2, testing the PCB. Done and done, baby. Don't want to bother you with that. And next up is attaching the daughter board to the bottom case. So those are the socket head screws. Disconnect from the PCB, fasten it to the bottom case, take care not to over tighten the screws. Okay, so now my greatest fear is already being realized. We have to touch the mirror to flip it over. Oh my God, this is very, very heavy. I think it's so disarmingly heavy because it is very thin. Like that's not a thick piece of material, and it's very heavy feeling. I imagine in the full keyboard that's gonna feel really nice. There's something that, you know, when our brain feels something heavy, our brain goes, oh, premium, which really doesn't make any sense, but you know. So there you go, there's the other side. There's these cool terrace cuts. Oof, how am I gonna show those? Okay, there we go, okay. Camera figured out what to focus on. There's these cool terrace cuts up front because the front edge of this keyboard is actually so low that they need to take out just a little bit extra material, or sorry, leave a little bit of extra material right at the front here, which is that's like impressively thin. So that's what the inside looks like. Mode branding, center USB-C there for the daughter board. You can see our fastener holes for the stack mount as well, and then our 4 little screws here. That's where it attaches to the top case, and then that's what's covered by the back piece. So we need our daughter board, we need our fasteners, and we need our Mode branded screwdriver. All right, so there is your socket cap screws. They've got kind of the top hat on them, and then you need the larger hex bit for this step out of the 2 that are included. Because I am paranoid about losing fasteners, I'm gonna tuck the rest back in the baggie here. Losing screws is the worst, especially when they are this small. I noticed that so all these are skewed. Again, logistics, very impressive. And it actually calls out that this is the fasteners for the case. There's that little mystery baggie of screws I wasn't sure about. Oh, yep, sure enough. 65 fasteners hot swap. There you go, so that is for the hot swap standoffs on the PCB, so that's great. That means there's extras, because there's only 3 standoffs and there's 4 screws, so costs companies almost nothing to include extra hardware, and I'm sure saves them a ton of headaches. So I am sure this is not gonna be visible, but I'm gonna give it a shot. You can maybe, and I can punch in editing even further, see the pins in there, how they're, oh my God, you can actually see it, how they're kind of off to one side. That's what you want to align. You can see on the end of the connector as well that the pins are also kind of off to one side. So just make sure you align those. If you feel any resistance putting this cable in, you're doing something incorrectly. It should, yeah, just like that. Like you can almost absent-mindedly plug this in and take so little force, which is a huge improvement from the 80 in my opinion. But just make sure you're doing it the right way, because you don't wanna mess it up. So we're gonna drop that into place. That aligns just very, very satisfyingly. Magnetic bit, friction bit, maybe a little bit of both. And we put 1 in each corner. It says do not over tighten. Torque is an amazing force, and you could absolutely crush the corners of this daughter board if you over torque these. You really don't need to do them tight. They are for alignment purposes. It's not like keyboards experience vibration or anything like that you're trying to fight against. There you go. Get that last one. There you go. I'm just gonna quick check these. Make sure that they're all just tight. Yep, just firm. Doesn't need to be anything more than that. That is a nice screwdriver. I'm very appreciative that Mode includes that, and honestly, it's probably going to be a good keyboard screwdriver in general, because 1.5 and 1.3 hexes and 00 Phillips. 00 Phillips? I think it's 00. Let me see here. Yep, 00 Phillips heads are pretty common in keyboards. Certainly it won't cover everything, but pretty good. All right, so now we've got our bottom case ready. We are going to do our stabilizers. So let me get this bottom case safely, oh my God, it's heavy, out of the way. And now y'all get to watch me get lubricant all over my fingers. Just great. Oh, and actually, I'm going to use their Phillips head bit for the stabilizers. How about that? Put that guy back in there. Keep all of our hardware nice and safe. Let's get the Phillips head in there. Yeah, I think that is magnetic. Yep, there's a magnet at the bottom. There you go, that's pretty cool. Oh my God, are these branded? Oh, the Phillips 00 looked like the word mode for a second there. I was like, that is freaking impressive that they're branding the bits, but no. Plate, back piece, plate foam, we're actually just gonna get out of the way. Since we're not using that today. Hot swap, stack mount, we're using that. Using all this. That's great. PCB. This PCB is super duper cool. Gondor designed it, and it is just Gonto. Sorry, I always want to say Gondor for some reason. Designed it, and it is just absolutely stunning. Number one, layout just fantastic. Trace is fantastic. The subtle branding on it is fantastic. The screen print on this side is awesome. But also it's this really cool shape. I work on a black background, so it's kind of hard to see. But it's kind of got these trapezoids that stick out here because the mounting points are in these thinner areas. So really every detail of this is very well thought through. We've got our standoffs here for hot swap, which I'm actually going to use this time. I just want to build it the way Mode intended the first time, and then play with it from there. But this is absolutely stunning. The solder version has flex cuts in it, so with a half plate build, which I might do in the future, you can get so much flex out of this keyboard. And then they had a limited edition one right at the beginning that didn't really interest me, but was quite cool. This black surface is called a solder mask. They sold one with a clear solder mask, so you could actually see the copper color through the PCB, which was a cool bonus for early adopters. So very cool looking PCB. Well designed. Gondo is awesome. I actually just watched a Gondo stream for the first time recently, and he's really good about answering questions in his chat and stuff. So if you're interested in PCB design, highly recommend checking out his streams. They're very laid back. He answers questions, and it's impressive, especially listening to him talk about like the controllers and stuff. I'm sure all of you are very acutely aware at this point that there's a chip shortage going on, and there's this really unique architecture called the Joker architecture that allows you to have some flexibility in your controller. I don't know nearly enough about it to tell you if this is using the Joker architecture, but that's just, you know, this is the brain of your keyboard. For those of you kind of familiar with PCBs, this is the controller for it. So yeah, just really impressive stuff. It was interesting to listen to him talk about how it all works, how it all comes together. Very smart guy, very personable. Let me peel the caps off the hot swap standoffs real quick here, as long as we are working with the PCB. I think Gondo did the 80 PCB as well. He's fantastic. So, attaching stabilizers, really nothing special for screw-in stabilizers. I'm going to just grab one here and show you. You can see, maybe, again, black on black, not my smartest choice. Right by my fingertips here, there's 4 holes, 2 big, 2 small. And on a Duroc stabilizer and most others of this style, there is a side that clips in, which has the wire on it. Oh boy, come on camera. Focus. There we go. There's a side that clips in and then a side that screws in, which is closer to my hand here. The clips go through the big hole on the PCB. And the screw standoffs go through the little hole. And then once you've done it right, the PCB, or the stabilizer rather, sits flat to the PCB. And then you use a screw and a washer to attach the stabilizer to the PCB, and that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna time lapse through this part, not super interesting, and I'll meet you on the other side. Okay, so The washers here are mostly for electrical safety. On the 65 PCB though, there's actually no positions where screws are near contacts. So if for whatever reason your stabilizers don't come with the washers, you're actually good to go in this case. Yeah, there you go. Stabilizers done. And just like we test our PCBs, we gotta test our stabilizers. If they're garbage, I wanna find out now so I can delete this video and none of you ever see it. Although if you're watching this video, that means that they weren't garbage. So I guess that's a good sign for current me. Not sure that's how time works. Anyway, we're gonna grab us some switches here. Socket those into place. I think this one I'm doing 6.25U spacebar. As a Mac OS user, that is the most advantageous layout for me personally. This also does support 7U on the hot swap version, as well as stepped or non-stepped caps. So that is pretty cool. The soldered version of the PCB also supports split backspace. There's also an ISO version of the PCB. Okay, cool, man, that looks really nice. Kind of black on gray aesthetic the whole way through. Very stealthy feeling. One day I could put GMK Stealth on this board and complete the package. Probably around the time I retire. What do I need? I need keycaps. Now, as with the controllers for circuit boards and all that, GMK is doing what they can with the supply chain they have. It will get here when it gets here. Oh man, I haven't looked at these keycaps in a while. These look so good. Oh, they're so clean. Love that. We're gonna need backspace. I did open the keycaps right when I got them just to make sure I wasn't clearly missing any keys or had duplicates of anything. Believe it or not, all GMK keycaps are hand-packed. Go. So when you get a GMK set and there's a mistaken keycap here or there, while frustrating, do know that a human was doing their best job. And accidents happen sometimes. It's okay. Did I get this right? I got this right. Look at me. Maybe I should be a professional at this. Just kidding, I like my job. All right, let's see how I did. That's pretty lit. All right, 2 out of 4. Let's do. Okay, and let's see how the last one does. Okay, no ticking. I'm gonna take that. That is exactly the news I wanted. I don't have to delete this video out of shame. Oh boy. That was making a lot of creaking noises when I tried to pull that keycap off. Woo! Tight keycaps, that's a little scary. I'd really rather not mess up my PCB. Although who knows, maybe this will turn into a soldering video. No, I'd rather not damage my PCB, please. That'd be very nice. Although if I soldered, I could do split backspace, which I've been using recently on my Icky 68 Aurora I built with some friends recently. And I am liking split backspace, which the hot swap does not support, which is too bad, but normal backspace is fine. Just looking for a silver lining. That's the kind of person I am. And then we can put equal pressure on either end of this. I'm glad I record my builds sometimes. Every now and then I do something stupid like that. But y'all are here to see it with me. Hit subscribe. Okay, cool beans. God, those are beautiful keycaps. I am so excited to build this. Clearly, as I'm building it at 7:45 p.m. on a work night. But with the holidays coming up and everything and all that kind of busyness, I wanted to get this done now. Alrighty. Stabilizers tested. Fantastic. They sound pretty good. Of course, once I put it together, one of them's gonna sound like garbage. This is the way. But for the moment, they sound pretty good. Install switches, hot swap step. 2-step 5s, hot swap or solder. We are not soldering today. We are hot swapping. All right, step 1, they recommend making sure your pins are straight. I usually do that while I am lubing. Optional plate foam. This is the time you want to put that on. I'm not using that, so we're good to go. All right, align the plate with the front of the PCB and attach it to the standoffs. Cool, so let me grab my plate. I normally don't use these standoffs because you prefer a little bit of flex, but as stack mount is not a flexy mounting style, I'm just gonna do this the way mode intended to begin with and modify from there. That might be the second time I've said that, sorry. I just wanna make sure I am as clear as I can be. These are the flathead screws. How many of them should there be? Oh, no, I'm a dummy. We identified earlier that it was the other bag of hardware. They are not in here. Disregard me. Well, don't disregard me. Hit subscribe. But leave me a mean comment down below because all comments count as engagement. So go call me an idiot or something. Get those views up, baby. I got no shame. Call me an idiot all you want. Got a dope keyboard. These screws right here. Those are very flat. Are we using a hex? We're using a hex. Let me grab my hex bits. This is one reason I usually prefer my own tools, is because I have, one of each I can lay out. No, that's too small. That's just right. So the bigger hex bit again, which is actually, I'm gonna leave the bit out. I'm gonna learn from what I just said. I believe there's a 2 and a 3 millimeter hex bit in here. Let's see what it says. Yeah, 1.5. I don't know what I'm talking about. 2 millimeter each? Oh, hex 1.5. Yep. This is what I get for building keyboards this late in the day. So we're gonna line that up right there. It says to put the screws in. I think what I'm going to do actually is do our corner trick. Put a switch in each corner to align the plate to the PCB, then put the screws in. That way the whole thing is just very much an agreement on rotation. So let's just take one more look at this plate real quick here before I put it in. This is fantastically gorgeous. It's glossy. There's the solder mask around the edges. You can see Gondo's logo there alongside the Mode logo. This is just fantastic. These keyboards really are beautiful inside and out. Nice affirmative snap in from these switches. That's always helpful on a hot swap build. So I'm straying a little bit from what Mode says here, but I think this will only be helpful to kind of have the switches in agreement and then get the screws in agreement on where everything should be. Snap in our bit here. I do like the screwdriver. Big fan of the screwdriver. It's a good inclusion by Mode. Because, and even with the 80, they included a hex, two hex keys, I think is what you needed of the relevant size. But as soon as you cross into 3 fastener socket types, like this board has, Phillips and 2 hex, I think it's smart to include something like this. Not only because it helps not junior builders, but less experienced builders who might not have tools. But then every time they build a keyboard in the future, they're looking at your logo while they're doing it. It's just a nice goodwill gesture, I think, for customers. This is not a cheap board. It's not an expensive board, but it's not a cheap board. And I think that's, the kind of stuff that's nice to include. So even more boring than stabilizers is snapping in switches. So we are going to time lapse through that, and I'll be back with you once all of our switches are all snapped in. See you on the other side. Last switch. Yeah, I am absolutely obsessed with how these switches look. The charcoal and black, like it's super basic, but kind of unique. I haven't seen any other switches like this. Like the other gray housing switch I know of is alpacas, which is what these housings are from, but they've got the kind of cheery pink stem. I like the charcoal and black look here. This is awesome. And of course, it's part of the keyboard you never see. So that's the part you want to look great, right? Fantastic. All those went in real nicely. You know what? Before I assemble, I'm gonna test our PCB one more time. I am as anal retentive as they come. Step 5, done. 6, confirm switch installation. That is very smart that they tell you to look for gaps because a lot of people might not know that. Downside of charcoal and black switches, very hard to see if there's a gap. Now we're looking good though. We're looking good. They recommend in the build guide to pinch against the hot swap socket. I am doing it on a flat surface, so I was not concerned with that. But if you're like holding it up, doing it, make sure you're pressing against the hot swap socket with your other finger. It shouldn't punch out under general situations. They're just trying to avoid damage to people's boards. I think it's good practice. Mode is not new at this. They were not born yesterday. Cool, looking good. Install plate caps. So they specifically say this is for isolated top and stack mount only. Again, if you're doing normal top mount, you do not install these. And the only reason you install them for stack mount is because they don't want the plate to rub on the inside of the top case. Come on, boys. Showtime. They are resistant of coming out of the bag. Showtime, come on, don't be nervous. All right, so we got 6 of them to do. And boop, 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 and boop. Nope, really boop, there we go, boop. There we go, nice and easy to put on. Let's get a dramatic Wes Anderson style zoom in on those. Focus camera. You can do it, buddy, there you go. Oh, that was a little misaligned. We didn't see that. Yeah, how about that? All right, them being crooked even bothers me. This is who I am as a person. Like, it seems like I'm really just neurotic about keyboards, but I'm neurotic about everything. So welcome to being friends with me. You get a little, I don't know, 1 hour dose, however long this is gonna edit down to. Let's see how long's the camera been recording. This is also a way for me to check to make sure it's still recording. Hour and 5 minutes as of now. All right, attach silicone base to bottom case, stack mount only. So that's us. We are stack mount. Almost made a Scott Pilgrim reference. We are Sex Bomb. Great movie. All right. So, stack mount, kind of a big departure from the way they did it on the 80, which has me very, very interested. The 80 was a pretty monolithic sheet of Poron. This is a molded piece of silicone. So in my Mode 80 review, I praised the Poron sheet because of how even it is. Every switch has pretty much the same amount of mechanical support. That is still mostly going to be the case here. The way it works, it's got these ribs so that it, here, come on, camera. Yeah, focusing on black objects is hard. I don't envy my camera's job this evening. Right here. Come on, buddy. Put my fingers on it. Yeah, there you go. There's these ribs so that the hot swap sockets can sit down between them. And because of those ribs, I'm willing to bet we're still gonna have pretty dang even support. But the Poron foam was completely flat with holes for hot swap sockets on the 80. So I'll be interested to see. I'm very intrigued to try this. As you just saw there, make sure your daughter board cable goes through the hole in the silicone. And we are going to screw this into place. Those are not shy about coming out of the bag. Good job, fellas. And they are hex head as well, and they are the bigger hex. So again, functionally, I don't think screwing this in really should, air quotes, do it. Wow, those screws just push right through that silicone. You really do not need to do this tight. Because I just screwed that in. So far, I went through the silicone. We're gonna try that again. These screws really shouldn't do anything other than aid with assembly, and I guess keep the silicone aligned over time. Because of the grooves in the ribs, I don't think it would get misaligned, but again, I trust mode. And certainly it makes assembly easier, because at some point you'll have to flip this piece upside down to make it close up and plug in the JST as the keyboard closes. So smart either way. Functionally, don't think it should matter. So yeah, don't need to screw these in tight. The silicone will just push right out of the way. It is very soft silicone. Get that extra screw out of the way. Get that out of the way. Cool beans. So this is prepared now. We're putting this away again. It is top case time. Oh, wait, no, maybe not. Step 9, attach plate PCB to top case. Top mount and isolated top mount only. We don't need to worry about that. Insert plate and PCB into top case. Parentheses stack mount. That's us. Cool. So this is heat sealed in a nice little baggie to protect it in shipping. We're going to assemble this face down in this box. I really like this work mat that I'm on, but it is not scuff resistant in any way. So I do not want to scuff my brand new keyboard. Place top case face down. Gently lower plate PCB assembly into top case. I can do that. I'm gonna check our little caps are in place here. That's backspace, so yep, like that. And you can see, maybe, these little alcoves. Right, there's one right there. That's where the little tabs off the plate sit on, and then that's where the threaded insert is. You can see 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's for the plate, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 along the back to seal the keyboard shut. So we are dropping the PCB into place, attempting to align with those. I am deeply sorry if you're just staring at the back of my head right now, but my view is more important than yours. Make sure to subscribe. And there we go. Cool. They are all sitting in their little nest, I suppose. All right, attach daughter board connector. Hold bottom case firmly in one hand and align it with the notch. So it's very similar to the 80. There's a tongue and groove along the bottom here. So it kind of hinges down into place, and then fasteners across the back. Secure bottom case with silver button head screws. So we're gonna get those ready. So I just have the fastener on hand. They are obvious because they are the silver screws. And these are hex. It looks like it's the smaller hex this time. I'm a genius. So smaller hex, which if the markings are to be believed, is a 1.3. Oh yeah, it's a 1.3 millimeter hex and a 1.5 millimeter hex. So those are both somewhat common with keyboards. So as I said before, useful screwdriver to have around. So what are all these extra screws? Oh, duh, for mounting, for top mount, duh. That's what all these extras are for. So there you go, and an extra one for the daughter board. And you can see that these top mount screws have a very broad head on them relative to their body, so that they squish the silicone into place. Love that. Okay, I gotta grab the shiny bottom now. I hate that. But you gotta break some you gotta break some fingerprints to make an omelet. That was terrible. I'm so sorry.
One more time, just gonna check. The pins are on the further side of the connector. That is how the JST is currently positioned. Okay, how do I want to do this? I'm gonna do this like the 80 actually, where I've got the back of the keyboard facing me. It is wild how cold this piece of brass still is. The amount of thermal mass this piece has is very impressive. All right, there we go. So again, this is, I mentioned this in my Mode 80 review and build. Actually, I forgot I have a build video as well you can check out. Oh, worth noting, the 80's actually been updated. There's a 2022 model of the 80 coming soon. Centered USB, also has isolated top mount as well as stack mount. And you get to configure your colors for your top and bottom, which is pretty cool. I'm not affiliated with Mode, by the way. I just really like these keyboards. I've been like plugging their products the whole time. They're really just great. They don't give me money or anything. I'm just doing this for fun. And I really like well-made products, so I want to promote them appropriately. There we go. Okay, so JST connectors in. Oh my god, this piece of brass is heavy. We're going to set it down like that. There we go. Okay, so that looks aligned to me. And then those four line up like that. Okay, hey, we're doing good here. Oh my god, there's so many fingerprints on it. I'm so sorry. I have a cloth, I'll fix it. Yeah, that looks like it's in there pretty good. I don't see, oh no, I do see a gap, I lied. Nope, I don't see a gap. Okay, cool. So then we're gonna do one of those. So I've got my thumb under this edge here, so that the switch stems stand a little proud of the top case. So I'm doing this so that the weight of the brass holds this edge close. I've just got my thumb under there like a shim. Okay, use a third hand. If you don't have a fingerprint magnet bottom piece, oh, it's magnetized. Ooh. GG mode. Oh, because it's a magnetic bit holder, and that's how magnetic fields work. Duh, Ian. If you don't have a total fingerprint magnet of a bottom case and you're not super precious about it like I am right now, this step's much easier. I'm making this way harder than it needs to be in an effort to minimize fingerprints. Okay, and again with these, especially with a polycarbonate top or bottom, you just need to get them finger tight. You do not want to over tighten these and crack anything, or strip anything as well. Even with little aluminum top cases, you can strip those threads. It's absolutely a thing. So just like that, I just hit a little bit of resistance and there you go. Again, keyboards are not an appliance that face a lot of vibration or anything, so you don't need to really bolt stuff down. We are just holding seams together between different materials. Why are you refusing to go in? I'm going to scooch my thumb down the way here. Go. There we go. We are bolting in. We've hit resistance. There we go. I have not heard any creaking yet, which is great. I do not like creaking when I'm screwing metal to plastic. That's not an encouraging sound. And let's flip it over for the grand reveal. Oh, come on. That looks so good. Are you kidding me? Oh, that's so nice. That's so good. And the polycarbonate's so nicely frosted. Oh man, I love the way polycarb looks. It's got a bit of character to it. And you can kind of see through the side of the polycarb just subtly. I imagine with like a black bottom piece, that would look really cool. You can kind of see the layers of the keyboard. That's great. Oh, I love that. Oh, mode. It's so good. Oh, and you can see the screw positions from the front. It almost kind of reminds me of like how all electronics in the 2000s for some reason were just like partially see-through. I'm not sure why we did that as a society, but there it was. It kind of reminds me of that a little bit. Oh, and it looks so good. It's so bottom heavy, this thing. In Discord I was in, I compared it to a Tesla because their batteries are in the bottom. They're like super duper bottom heavy. This thing, again, the base piece is 20 times the weight of the top case. So yeah, we've got a real weight differential here. Oh, that was a card joke. Didn't mean to do that. All right, let's zoom back out here. Oh, no, let's stay zoomed in. Oh, we're putting on the back piece. Here we go. After I was kind of worried that the white back piece wouldn't look as good as I hoped, but then I saw Moto light again when we were testing the stabilizers, and yeah, no, white's gonna be fantastic. Oh, it's so good. Mode. It's so nicely finished. So all the white parts are E-coat. Everything else is ano if it's aluminum. So this is actually my first E-white keyboard part, because I usually like darker keyboard parts. You can see a little bit of cutout there, and then it's got 2 magnets in the back. You can see these pockets here. That's where the screws are screwed in across the back. And so then all you should have to do is get it close. Ooh, that's nice. That's so good. Oh my God. Come on, Mode. Come on, how is this a real... Oh God, you just see my horrible beard I'm attempting to grow. That's no good. No, don't look at my face. Don't look at my face. There we go. Yeah, come on. Look at that. Say hello to yourselves. There you are. Amazing, come on. There's a fingerprint on it, oh my God. It's okay, I just need to photograph it. It's on the bottom, I'll never see it. Okay, holy crap. We have an assembled keyboard. Now we just need to put the pretty plastic on top. And we did it, fam. Let me get these little covers out of the way. I'm sorry for calling you fam. Make sure to subscribe. This is technically, I believe, the keycap from Rama for Moto 2, but we're rolling with it. It should be the same teal. From the front of the box, it looks like the same teal. This will back out a little bit far. We need some room to breathe here. All right, I'm going to time lapse through this as is tradition, and I'll see you on the other side with a finished keyboard, and I'll probably go, oh my God, a couple more times, and then we'll end the video with some sound tests. So I will see you on the other side. Respectfully, sheesh. Wow. This, with the white back piece, looks better than I could have hoped. Let's get the Rama cap in its rightful home. Yep. Yes, sir. Wow, this is good. This is super scuffed. It's on a Zoom recorder that's too far away. Let me put you down. So very consistent sound with the stack mount, as with the 80. Very, very stiff. But that is what I think is really... Listen to that. Sheesh. That's what's great about this keyboard, is I can very easily go in and change the mounting style and experiment with a bunch of stuff. So I think we are going to leave it there for the moment. Smudge. Smudgy boy. There we go. Okay. We're going to leave it there. For now, I will append some sound tests to the end. They'll all be with the FR4 plate, but I'll go through all 3 mounting styles. So you can hear what the differences are there. I am wildly pleased with how this... Oh my goodness. I'm wildly pleased with how this turned out. I'm very excited to type on this, get a feel for this bad boy. Mode, fantastic job. I hope to do a review of this in the future like I did with the Mode 80 once I've spent some time with it, played with the different mounting styles, and all that. Oh, actually, real quick while we're here, let me see how the black back piece looks, just for fun. And what's cool, I forgot to talk about this a whole lot while I was putting it on because it took 3 seconds. These come in aluminum, brass, copper, and titanium in various finishes. There are a lot of these. I think this is a brilliant thing from Mode because now you can easily tweak your keyboard to match your keycap set.
you know, I put GMK white on black on this thing, this is gonna look sick. I have GMK modern Dulce light, this is gonna look amazing. So yeah, I think this is very, very cool. Oh, you know, actually that it's a little too dark now across the top, I feel like, but with like the gunmetal gray Rama and again the almost black Legends, that actually looks pretty good. I do like the white more, but I'm excited I got a couple of these to play with because again, you know, if GMK Stealth comes before I die, that'll look sick. And that's what's great about these. You can get these for not terribly expensive and get one that kind of is on theme with your keycap set. I don't work with mode. I don't have any insider knowledge. What I would love to see is collaboration back pieces. I think that'd be sick. Like they rerun some keycap set or some new one out and they just have a matching Mode 65 back piece. I think that'd be a really awesome add-on for people who are into this keyboard. But even if they don't, because there are so many finishes and colors and materials, you are kind of bound to find one that will go well with your keycap set. Like I think white looks fantastic with this. Big fan. Mode, amazing job. I'm excited to type on this keyboard and get to know it, and hopefully have a more full fat review down the road. We need to get the thumbnail shot. Oh wait, hang on. We're not using the lens to its full potential. Normally I have to crop out the background, but now I can just zoom in and I don't have to crop the background out. Technology. We're gonna do one of these just like this. It's like a reverse Teja screenshot. Instead of holding it up, I'm holding it down towards the bench. And I keep trying to end this video, but I just want to keep looking at it. So it's me again. Viewers. Oh, viewers. Hello. Look at that. Don't look at the fingerprints. Look at the keyboard. Goodness gracious. Okay, all right. I get to spend the next 15 minutes showing this thing from various angles, and who knows, maybe I'll put some B-roll in before we get to the sound tests, because I am hard simping over this keyboard. But for real this time, gonna leave it there. Mode 65 build, absolute blast, very easy build, great build guide. So far, I highly recommend this keyboard. I will let you know in the possible future review if that changes, but so far, my goodness, this is everything I could have hoped for and more. So, thanks for watching.